nice and hot, getting ready for Shabbat.
Come all of you, come all of us, and bless the one who blesses. Come all of you, come all of us, and bless the one who blesses. Blessed is the blessed one. Blessed is the giver of blessings. Blessed in this moment now and every now to come. Blessed is the blessed one. Blessed is the giver of blessing. Blessed in this moment now and every now to come. Come all of you. Come
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So wonderful to have you with us this Erev Shabbat, the 22nd of January. Interesting week in our world. And I hope that this week has brought you good health and some measure of serenity. And it's great to have everybody here. So, Rabbi, how are you?
I'm doing terrific. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's great to be with you. Shabbat Shalom, Cantor Paul, and to all those who are out there. I love the Shabbat Shaloms. I see you wishing each other on our Facebook page, and if you're there and you haven't yet wished people a Shabbat Shalom or said hello, we'd love to hear from you. And we're going to start our service tonight with Shalom Aleichem. I somehow lost my co-host status here, Paul, so I can't share.
Okay.
Can you give it to me again?
Let me give it back to you. Just make sure that you still got it. You're back.
I'm back, and now I can share my screen. Okay. So.
In the meantime, I'll. Die 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 da die 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 da die 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 da 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 die 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 da die 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 da die 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 Shalom Alechem Malachei Hasharet Malchei, Malchei, Malchei Elyon Mimelech, Mimelech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu HaKadosh Baruch Hu Boachem L'Shalom Malchei HaShalom Malchei, Malchei, Malchei Elyon Mimelech, Mimelech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malchei, Malchei, Malchei Elyon, Mimelech, Mimelech, Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yadadai, everybody. Yadadai, 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 Seitchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malchei, Malchei, Malchei Elyon, Mimelech, Mimelech, Malchei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yadadai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai dai, yada dai dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai 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 dai, dai dai dai.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
As is our custom, we take a few moments to reflect on the week that has passed, to go back to last Shabbat, and then spend a pause on each day, on its blessings and on its challenges, and then we'll join together in singing Lecha Dodi. If you have a book at home, it's page 20. Take a deep breath. Shabbat, Chadeshet, Haneshama, the Shabbat renews the soul. And when we take a breath, we can be present, acknowledge everything that has happened during this last week, but now just be here in this moment of Shabbat. We join in Lecha Dodi verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. When we get to verse 9, you can turn toward the door of your home to welcome the Shabbat presence into your heart and into your home.
Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 b'nei Shabbat mekabela Lecha Dodi likrat kalai alalai 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 b'nei Shabbat mekabela Shamor v'zachor b'diborecham Ishme'anu el hamyuchan Adonai echan u'shmo echan L'shem tiferet v'li tchilah L'chadoni likrat kalai alalai 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 B'nei Shabbat l'hekabelah L'chadoni likrat kalai alalai 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 B'nei Shabbat l'hekabelah Likrat Shabbat l'chu v'nelcha Ki mekor habracha Merosh mikerem mesucha Sof ma'aseh b'makshva tila L'chadoni likrat kalai alalai 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 P'nei Shabbat l'hekabelah L'chadoni likrat kalai alalai 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 P'nei Shabbat l'hekabelah Hitoreri, hitoreri, ki ba'orech kumeori, uri, uri, shiraberi, kevod Adonai alayich nigla, lechadoni likrat kalai alalai alalai alalai, b'nei Shabbat l'hekabelah. L'chadoni likrat kalai alalai 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 B'nei Shabbat l'hekabelah Boi v'shalom Ateret bala Gam b'simcha Uv'tzola Toch emuneh am segula Boi chala Boi chala L'chadoni likrat kalai alalai 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 B'nei Shabbat l'hekabelah L'chadoni likrat kalai alalai 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 B'nei Shabbat l'hekabelah
We continue with Chatzi Kaddish on page 26.
Yitgadal ve'yitkadash shemei Rabbah Be'alma divrach chirutei ve'yamlich malchutei V'chayechon u'v'yom echon U'v'chayei dechol bet Yisrael Bagala, bagala Uvizman kariv Veimeru Amen Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mivara Le'elam Ulan Me'al Maya Yitbarach Yitbarach Ve'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar v'yitrambam v'yitnasei V'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal Shemei dekudesha b'richu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbekata v'nechamata Da'amiran be'alma v'imeru Amen.
We rise in body or in spirit for Baruch Hu, our call to prayer.
Ya la lai lai lai, ya la lai lai lai, ya Yalla lie, 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 yalla lie, lie, lie. Yalla lie, 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 lie. Yalla lie, 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 yalla lie, lie, lie. Are we awake? Are we aware? Are you listening, God, to our prayer? Can you hear our voice? Do we understand? Are we awake? Are we aware? Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed Le'olam va'ed Yada dai 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 dai.
Last three lines in the Hebrew, page 30.
El chai v'kayam tamidim lochan leinu le'olam va'ed Baruch ata Adonai Hamariv Haravi.
Amen. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us, and the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form?
Al tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch ata Adonai Oelamo Yisrael.
Amen. We can connect ourselves through the Holy One to everything that is and join in Shema Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam va'ed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Continue with Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Emet. Join in our song of freedom. We are approaching this time in our Torah reading this week. We are Parshat Bo. We have the final plagues of the Passover story. And next week we cross through the sea, and we'll be singing this song of rejoicing.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורתי לו עושה פלא. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, תורתי לו עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקעים לפני משה ומרים. זה אלי אנו, ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורתי לו עושה פלא. נורתי לו עושה פלא. נורתי לו עושה פלא. ונאמר כי ודע אדוני את יעקב וגואלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Amen. Hashkivenu, page 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, ve'hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right, Adonai. Amen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukkot shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al Yerushalayim. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukkot shalom. Shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
We give thanks for Shabbat. Join in singing Vishamru.
Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
As we move into our Amidah, we try to create for ourselves a spiritual space in which we stand or sit as we stand before the Holy One and before our community. And we'll begin with Adonai Tzvatai Tiftach and then sing the first three blessings of our Amidah, of our Tefillah together, our Avot and Imahot prayer, our Giverot prayer, and our Kedusha. After that, we'll have time for silence, for the text of our own hearts, and then for a musical offering from Dr. Randy Polvoy.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו ואהבה. מלך עוזר, מושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, בחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מקלקל חיים בחסד, בחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממיר ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל.
You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch Baruch Shemo.
Ha'el HaKadosh. Please take a few moments for the text of your own heart. Shabbat Shalom, Dr. Polovoy.
Hello, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom to everybody out there. For my piece tonight, I'm going to be playing Yehiyu L'Ratzon, otherwise known as May the Words. And the words from this prayer are taken from Psalm 19. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable unto thee, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. Hopefully very familiar words to all of you that are watching. And I thought I would do something a little different tonight. I thought I would link two different silent devotion prayers, both quite brief. One from my youth that has particular sentimental value, and the other I learned here at TBI. So for those of you that don't know, I grew up at Temple Beth Israel in La Mirada, and I happen to personally know two families that were there at the time with me and have subsequently become members at TBI. So if you people happen to be listening, you may recognize one of the melodies. So our longtime cantor at Temple Beth Israel was Irv Green, and he was part-time. Today he would be called cantorial soloist, but I don't think any such title existed back then. So the first setting I will play of Yehiyu L'Ratzon is by Jacob Weinberg, and is the one that Cantor Green always sang. This is sort of his liturgical signature piece, and he put all of his heart and soul into it. I remember it just like it was yesterday. Of course, played as a solo on the keyboard, it doesn't truly do it justice, obviously missing the words and the vocal inflections, but it gives you a flavor of the piece anyway. And the second setting, which will follow immediately afterward of May the Words, is by Max Janowski and was introduced to me by the TBI Choir. Now, this one is a choral setting, which I have adapted for keyboards, so the same limitations apply to this piece as to the Weinberg, but again, you get a taste of this very lovely piece. So here are two different settings of May the Words of My Mouth.
Thank you and Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom all. They saw not one another, nor any rose from his place for 3 days, but all the people of Israel had light in their dwellings. Exodus 10:23 from this week's Parashah Torah portion. What was the worst of the 10 plagues? Obviously, it was the slaying of the firstborn of Egypt by the angel of death, who passed over the homes of the Israelites. But what was the next to the worst of the plagues? Maybe it seems logical that it was the plague before. It was choshech. It was darkness, a deep blackness that filled Egypt for 3 days. So what's so awful about darkness? Did the Egyptians not have any lamps they could light? The answer is that the darkness was not simply a physical darkness, but a spiritual one. According to the Midrash, people were frozen in their place. Those who were sitting could not stand up. Those who were standing could not sit down. Those who were lying in bed could not get up. They could not see one another in their personal darkness. Sounds like a definition of deep depression, as Rabbi Harold Kushner points out. At this time in our in our world, in our country, it seems as if we've been hit with our own plagues. The worst, of course, is the COVID-19 pandemic, with the angel of death taking so many lives. But what is comparable to the darkness? It is the separation we feel from one another. The text tells us that they could not see their friends or get up from where they were. Perhaps the Egyptians were depressed by the series of calamities that had befallen them. So many of us had felt this way over the last many months, with the rising numbers of sick and dead from COVID, our economic crisis and unemployment and housing crises that goes with it, with our caustic politics and the rise in hate crimes and anti-Semitism, even a fourth election in 4 years in Israel. There is plenty to make us feel as if we are enveloped in darkness. There was a debate in the Talmud in Brachot, Masechet Brachot, a section of the Talmud, about the time when the time for morning prayers has arrived. Is it when you can differentiate the color white from the color blue? Is it when we can distinguish between a wolf and a dog? No, the Talmud says, it is when we can recognize a face as the face of a friend, the face of a neighbor. At this time especially, let us be there for each other as friends, as neighbors, as fellow citizens. The lesson of this section of the Talmud is that we cannot turn to God until we can first see other people. The plague of darkness in Egypt was not that the lights went out. The plague was that people stopped seeing one another, stopped caring for one another. TBI has started a network called My Jewish Neighborhood to get TBI members who live in the same geographic areas to get to know one another, a project being headed up by Joan Quatcher. To know one another, to support one another, to be connected to one another. And if you're interested in being part of this project, please contact the TBI office and somebody from My Jewish Neighborhood will be in touch with you. As a new president takes office, I pray for healing for our divided country. But real healing can only begin when all of us start to really see one another and our humanity. I conclude with the final words of Amanda Gorman's inaugural poem, The Hill We Climb. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to turn now to our prayer for healing of mind, of body, of spirit, our Misha Berach prayer. And feel free to mention the names of those who you are thinking about in our chat. And of course, I'll share the names of those who are on our congregational list.
Holy One, who blessed our mothers, blessed our fathers from ancient days, bless and heal those in our hearts, and hear our prayer Shaputam Bishlach Lahem Refuah Shlema Refuat HaNefesh Refuat HaGuf B'tok Sha'ar Cholei Yisrael. Oh, bless and heal those in our hearts, and hear our prayer as we say their names.
We ask for blessings upon Rebecca Gilman, Bela Pasternak, Hannah Fields Austin, Sue Toback, Alicia Goldfarb, Paula Steinbach, Rosin Lefkowitz, Helen Weinfeld, Gabrielle Silton, Pam Poliakoff, Connie Shapiro, Kathy Blumenfeld, Gloria Austin, Caitlin Antrim, Judith Bosworth, Kathy Brewster, Doug Austin, Stephanie Holland, Jennifer Rudin, Susan Gruer, Charity Razadeh, James Stead, Ann Ansel, Marion Schneiders, Kimberly Zimmerman, Lori Snyder, Brad Holland, Isley Holland, Mike Klein, Beatrice Caden, Meg Silton, Henry Gerard, Kirby Perkins, Brenda Fang Gerard, Serena Postal, Nancy Brewster, Cynthia Tolentino, Bobby Kay, Dan Ione, Bonnie Stead, Jay Adelberg, Liz Fields, Jerry Binstock, Marilyn Freeman, Robert Strober, Ava Bespris, Robin Goichenberg, Mark Fenton, Maureen Fenton, Brian Fenton, Christy Fenton, Marilyn Lubarsky, Simon Saul, Joe Kummerman, Rabbi Janet Bieber, Agnes Magaha, Sharon Stein, Char Alpert, Stan Stein, and all of those who we carry in our hearts.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yemalei Rachamim Aleichem. Oh, bless and heal those in our hearts, and hear our prayer as we say their names.
Going to invite Stephanie Cuba to turn on her camera and share a few announcements. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi, hey, Rabbi. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you, Rabbi Jonathan and Cantor Paul and Randy, for a wonderfully restorative service this evening. Well, there's 4 big events that are coming up for all TBI congregants in January and February, so buckle your seatbelts and let's get ready for the ride. Coming up this Sunday, Women of Temple Beth Israel is excited to welcome Arava Talv as their guest speaker. So it's Sunday, January 24th at 2:30 p.m. Those of you who know Arava speak of her deep spirituality and her passion for challenging her students to explore and define their relationship with Judaism. Please RSVP to the Temple office. All right, and get ready for the Brenda Rosenfeld Scholar Lecture Series and Workshop Series with Rabbi Judy Schindler. That's going to start this coming Thursday, January 28th at 7:15 p.m. That will be the first workshop where congregants will learn how to participate in civic engagement activities. You'll need to register for that event separately at rabbischindlertbi.eventbrite.com. Then Rabbi Schindler will join us for a lecture during our Shabbat service on Friday, January 29th. And then on Sunday, January 31st at 10 a.m., there'll be another workshop hosted by the Social Action Committee and Social Justice team with Rabbi Schindler. More on that in your weekly update. Then in February, Adult Jewish Learning is pleased to present Off the Beaten Path, Tammy's Guided Tour of the Tanakh. That's Wednesdays, February 3rd, 10th, 17th, and 24th at 7:15 to 8:30 p.m. on Zoom. Join Professor Tammy Schneider as she guides TBI congregants through the Hebrew Bible. She will review what the important texts are, and then will take us on a whirlwind tour of the who, what, when, where, why, how, all of that, of the books of the Hebrew Bible. We're very excited. Please RSVP for the TBI office for that. And then lastly, but not least, is the Hebrew Reading Challenge. TBI has launched a year-long congregation-wide Hebrew Challenge in 2021 for all adult congregants. The goal of this program is for every congregant to achieve a degree of Hebrew reading fluency for the beginner and increased fluency for intermediate readers. The program will include consecutive year-round Hebrew Level 1 classes. The next one starts on March 7th. And for those who prefer a DIY approach, you can sign up at the office, and there's a program that our very own Dina Lane will provide for you: Hebrew reading recordings, videos, and 1-hour reviews with tutors, flashcards, textbooks. And if you're part of the first 100 congregants to participate, there are special prizes, which I cannot reveal what they are now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephanie, and Shabbat Shalom. I would just say for any of the events around the Rabbi Judah Schindler, or for our adult Jewish learning events, check the congregational emails, check the Temple Beth Israel, tbipomona.org homepage, because from there you can click through to the events, and if you need to register, things like that, you can do that. So lots of opportunities there. I would also just note that starting this Saturday night at 7 p.m. and continuing for 24 hours on the 25 hours, Cantor Paul tells me, on the Jewish Federation of the San Gabriel and Pomona Valley's Facebook page is the Holocaust Remembrance Day reading of names. So there'll be names of people who died in the Shoah and the Holocaust that will be being read during that time. Cantor Paul is part of the opening ceremony, which begins at 7 p.m. tomorrow evening. And I believe we're both reading names between 3 and 3:30 p.m. on Sunday, this Sunday. So hope that you'll tune in for at least some of that as an opportunity. This is International Holocaust Remembrance Day. So we kind of have 2 times during the year, this and then Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Remembrance Day, which is sort of the Israeli and Jewish community observance, and this is the worldwide observance. And so we hope that many of you will be able to be with us for part of that as well. Anything else you want to add, Cantor Paul?
The only thing I wanted to add was Stephanie mentioned that Arva Talve is going to present a special program for Women of TBI this Sunday. I know that Women of TBI is doing some outreach, trying to draw more of our TBI women into their chever, their community. And if you look on our website, we have everything set up so that you can fill out a very brief membership application online, submit it via email, and certainly I know that they will welcome you not only to this event, but all of the future events, which so far have been monthly, and they've all, from what I understand, been terrific. So just want to put in a plug for that.
Great. Thank you, Cantor Paul. And we're going to now move toward the conclusion of our service. I'm going to share with you Aleinu L'Shabeach, and it is on page 282 for those who have a Siddur at home.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצון, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
Our thoughts turn to those who have shaped our lives and have left this earth, those who have died in recent days or at this time in years past. We remember the recent deaths of Carol Mann Horowitz, cousin of Stuart Mann, Barbara Jean Cowling Bryan, mother of Stephanie Baker, Harold Loeb, father of Joshua Loeb, Diana Schifris, mother of Jeff Schifris, Ron Frankel, husband of Gail Frankel. Remember Mary Dropkin, Michael Greenstein, son of Bernice Greenstein, and Rita Silverman, mother of Lisa Block. We remember the Yortzites, the anniversaries of the deaths of Fanny Donen, Bill Ellis, Pauline Grossman, Goldie Heller, Charles Endursky, Beth Levinson, Carol Mann Horowitz, Sheldon Steve Drucker, Georgina Geiger, Marilyn Glazer, Harriet Glickstein, Catherine Namaho, Helen Oliver, Sylvia Ranich, Sadie Rosenfeld, Bernice Siegel, Minnie Beckerman, Frank Budrovic, Helen Gross, Mildred Endursky, Morris Litwack, Helen Poritsky, Mark Schaffner, Leon Wasserman, Becky Asher, Esther Elias, Abraham Kurtzer, Florence Morse, Robert Lloyd Novak, Francis Ritz, Charlotte Rotman, Miriam Winograd, Jacob Belinsky, David Benson, Oscar Klein, Marion Levin, Bernice Schechter, Sheldon Schenfeld, Rose Schreiber, Sig Hyman, Morris J. Karnofsky, Max Bellman, Herb Goldstein, David Landsberg, and Arnie Naftalin. If you are remembering somebody, please feel free to mention their name in the chat, and we join in the words of Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
V'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayachon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael v'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru amen.
Amen.
Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lomei maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudasha brichu
Richu.
le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tush bechata v'nechamata da'miram bi'alma v'imru amen.
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabba min shmaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Amen.
Zichronam livracha, may their memories always be for a blessing. We're going to close our service with Biyado and then stick around for Kiddush and Motzi.
Beyado of Kidduchi, Be'edishan ve'a'ira, Ve'imruchi keviati, Adonai li ve'lo ira, Ve'imruchi keviati, Adonai li ve'lo ira. My soul I give to you, my spirit in your care. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Hold me in your hand. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Safely in your hand. Beyado of Kidduchi, Be'edishan ve'a'ira, Ve'imruchi geviati, Adonai li velo yira, ve'im ruchi geviati. Adonai li velo ira.
So if you have a kiddush, a cup for a kiddush, you can grab it and we'll join in our blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikraye kodesh zechar letziat mitzrayim Kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat Chaim.
L'chaim.
And Rabbi, I think you're still screen sharing.
You are right. Sorry. And if you have a challah, you can take a piece of challah.
Reach out and touch this hunk of bread. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us. We hope to see you soon. להתראות.
Shabbat shalom. Have a restful, peaceful Shabbat.